Peace and blessings, and welcome to Search Out the Matter. I'm Jay, and thanks for joining me as I seek the truth of Yah's Word. I'm going to begin this study with Isaac, then move to Jacob and his descendants. So, Genesis 26, verse 1. And there was a famine in the land, beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And Yahuwah appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and I will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. So we see here God is reconfirming the covenant of Abraham with Isaac based on what Abraham has already done. 24. And Yahuwah appeared unto him the same night and said, I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thy seed, for my servant Abraham's sake. So now he's reconfirmed. So let's go to Genesis 25. And we're going to start at verse 19. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begot Isaac. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean of Padanaram, the sister to Laban the Aramean. And Isaac entreated Yahuwah for his wife, because she was barren. And Yahuwah was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahuwah. And Yahuwah said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So we see here the calling of one of the children being the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment. And they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. And his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. So now we see that Jacob is the one who will be served, and Esau will serve him. Okay, so Genesis 28. And this is after Jacob has taken the blessing from Esau and goes to Laban. Verse 10. And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran. And he lighted upon a certain place and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place and put them for his pillows, and lay down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. And behold, Yahuwah stood above it and said, I am Yahuwah, God of Abraham thy father, and the God of Isaac. The land whereon thou liest, to thee will I give it into thy seed. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all the places whither thou goest, and I will bring thee again into this land, for I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken to thee of. And Jacob awaked out of his sleep, and he said, Surely Yahuwah is in this place, and I knew it not. So we see again a confirmation of this covenant but now it's being confirmed to Jacob. So from here, let's go to Genesis 32. And we'll begin at verse 22. And this is when Jacob was on his way back to his homeland after he had Joseph. And so he sends everyone before him with gifts to appease Esau. So verse 22. And he rose up that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them and sent them over the brook and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, as he wrestled with him. And he said, Let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, What is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince thou hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. And Jacob asked him and said, Tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, Wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel. For I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. So here we see that Jacob wrestles with this man all night. And the man did not prevail against him, it says, until he touched the hollow of his thigh. And even after he touches the hollow of his thigh, he says to Jacob, Let me go, for day breaks. And Jacob says, No, I will not let you go until you bless me. So what we see now is what Jacob was actually fighting for in the beginning, in the womb, right? He's fighting for the blessing. He was fighting for the blessing then, and he's fighting for the blessing again now. He said, I won't let you go until you bless me. And this was after the man, or Hosea, in Hosea 12:3, it says that it was an angel. It was until, he blessed him. He said, I won't let you go. And at that point, he had already been injured. So he is persistent about this blessing. And we can see that through Jacob's life, the extent that he went to obtain the blessing. And he gets it. He gets a blessing here. His name is changed from Jacob, meaning heel, or a heel grabber, because he was on Esau's heel trying to get in front of him to get the birthright. And now his name is Israel, meaning he who strives or prevails with God. So from here, I want to go to Exodus, and we're going to go to chapter 2. And verse 23. And it came to pass in process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage. And they cried, and their cry came up unto God by reason of their bondage. And God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. And God looked upon the children of Israel and had respect unto them. Chapter 3. We're going to look at verse 13, and this is when God appears to Moses at the burning bush. And Moses said unto God, Behold, when I come unto the children of Israel and say unto them, The God of your fathers hath sent me unto you, and they shall say to me, What is his name? What shall I say unto them? And God said unto Moses, I am that I am. Or in Hebrew, this is Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh. And he said, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, Ehyeh hath sent me unto you. So we see now that God is coming to save the children of Israel because he heard their cry. So let's go to chapter 4. I'm going to go to verse 21. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, when thou goest to return into Egypt, see that thou do all those wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in thine hand. But I will harden his heart, that he shall not let the people go. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith Yahuwah, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. And I say unto thee, let my son go, that he may serve me. And if thou refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay thy son, even thy firstborn. So now we see again that God is calling Israel his son, just like we determined from the genealogy in Genesis. And I'm going to go to chapter 6 and verse 5. And I have also heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Egyptians keep in bondage, and I have remembered my covenant. So now we see God is still keeping the covenant from Abraham to go and get his children. And he promised this to Abraham in Genesis 15 when he made the covenant with Abraham, saying that he would go and get his children in the fourth generation when the iniquity of the Amorites was full. So what is this covenant? Let's go to Exodus 19. So God is now going to make a covenant with Israel. Verse 3. And Moses went up unto God, and Yahuwah called unto him out of the mountain, saying, thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and to the children of Israel, ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. Okay, verse 10. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, go unto the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes, and be ready against the third day. For the third day Yahuwah will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. So now he's going to make a covenant with them to be a peculiar people, a special people to him, above everybody. But first he tells them, go make sure your garments are clean, right? So chapter 20, and we see the giving of the 10 commandments. So this is the covenant that God makes with Israel. 18. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when they saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moses, speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die. So they got afraid because of what they had seen, and they selected Moses to be the intermediary between themselves and God. And this is also confirmed in Deuteronomy 5. So let's go there. One. And Moses called all Israel and said unto them, hear, O Israel, the statutes and judgments which I speak in your ears this day, that ye may learn them and keep and do them. Yahuwah our God made a covenant with us in Horeb. And 5, he said, I stood between Yahuwah and you at that time to shew you the word of Yahuwah, for ye were afraid by reason of the fire, and went not up into the mount. So then it's the same thing, the 10 commandments. 22. These words Yahuwah spake unto all your assembly in the mount of the mist, out of the midst of the fire, of the cloud, and of the thick darkness, with a great voice. And he added no more. And he wrote them in 2 tables of stone, and delivered them unto me. So this is the covenant. So we've established that now. So let's look at some of the blessings and curses of this covenant. Deuteronomy 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahuwah thy God, to observe to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that Yahuwah thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, and thou shalt, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yahuwah. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy ground, the fruit of thy cattle, and increase of thy kind, the flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shall thou be when thou come in, and blessed shall thou be when thou go out. Yahuwah shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. Yahuwah shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all that thou settest thy hand to, and he shall bless thee in the land which he gives thee. Yahuwah shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of Yahuwah and walk in his ways. And all of the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of Yahuwah, and shall be afraid of thee. And Yahuwah shall make thee plenteous in goods, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground, in the land which he swore unto thy fathers to give thee. He shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven, to give the rain unto thy land in its season, and to bless all the work of thine hand. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. And Yahuwah shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath, if that thou hearken unto the commandments of Yahuwah thy God, which I command thee this day to observe and do them. So these are some pretty significant blessings. He said that they will be blessed in everything that they set their hand to. They will be high above all nations. The lender always, never the borrower. So they were going to be pretty well off. But the curses, which we have in the rest of Deuteronomy, basically reverse these blessings, and they add with them pestilence, disease, sickness, war, and defeat. And then they're going to be dispersed into all of the nations, and there they will be afflicted by their enemies. So who are the covenantees? Let's look at Exodus 12 and verse 37. And the children of Israel journeyed from Rameses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot, that were men beside children. And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle. So we see it wasn't just Israel, it was anybody who took the opportunity to come out with them as well. So 43. And Yahuwah said unto Moses and Aaron, This is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof, but every man's servant that is bought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. A foreigner and an hired servant shall not eat thereof. In one house shall it be eaten. Thou shalt not carry forth aught of the flesh abroad out of the house, neither shall ye break a bone thereof. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to Yahuwah, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land. For no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among you. So we see here that the Passover is mandatory for all of the children of Israel. But there is an option for the sojourner who comes to live among them to also keep it, but they have to be circumcised first. So They have to come first under the blessing or the covenant of Abraham. And then they can go ahead and eat the Passover and become Israel. This is what we call naturalization, right? You go live in somebody's country and you can eventually become a citizen, and you'll have all the rights of the other citizens that were born in that country. So there's no distinction now between you and the homeborn citizen. But this is optional to the sojourner. Okay? So what are the signs of this covenant? Let's go to verse 12. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am Yahuwah. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you. And the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. So here we have the first sign being the blood of the Passover lamb. Okay, let's go to 13. Verse 3. And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by the strength of the hand of Yahuwah brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. 6. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and in the seventh day shall be a feast to Yahuwah. Unleavened bread shall be eaten 7 days, and there shall no leavened bread be seen with thee, neither shall there be leaven seen with thee in all thy quarters. And we'll jump to verse 9. And it shall be for a sign unto thee upon thine hand, and for a memorial between thine eyes, that Yahuwah's law may be in thy mouth. For with a strong hand hath Yahuwah brought you out of Egypt. So now we see a second sign, which is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Let's go to verse 11. And it shall be, when Yahuwah shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, as he sware unto thee and to thy fathers, and shall give it thee, that thou shalt set apart unto Yahuwah all that openeth the matrix, and every firstling that cometh of a beast which thou hast, the male shall be Yahuwah's. And every firstling of an ass shalt thou redeem with a lamb. And if thou wilt not redeem him, then thou shalt break his neck. And all the firstborn of man among thy children shalt thou redeem. 16. And it shall be for a token upon thy hand, and for frontlets between thine eyes. For by strength of hand Yahuwah brought us forth out of Egypt. So now, this sign is about the sanctification of the firstborn. So these are going to be dedicated to Yahuwah, of man, of beast, even of unclean. But the unclean beast is going to be redeemed with a lamb, and also their sons are going to be redeemed. Okay, so let's go to chapter 31, verse 13. Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, verily, my Sabbaths ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that you may know that I, Yahuwah, doth sanctify you. And this is talking about the weekly Sabbath. So the fourth sign is the Sabbath. And let's go to Deuteronomy 6. We'll begin with 4. Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah our God is one, Yahuwah. And thou shalt love Yahuwah thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sit in thy house, when thou walkest by the way, when thou lie down, and when thou rise up. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes, and thou shalt write them upon the posts of thy house and on thy gates. And this is repeated in Deuteronomy chapter 11, verses 18 through 20. So Now we have the signs of the covenant: the blood of the Passover lamb, the feast of unleavened bread, the sanctification of the firstborn, the Sabbath, and the word of God in their heart. So, what's the conditions of this covenant? We see the commandments of the covenant, but what are the conditions? Let's go to Exodus 24, verse 7. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people. And they said, all that Yahuwah hath said, we will do and be obedient. So the conditions of the covenant is the book of the covenant, which is the book of the law, where all of Yah's statutes, ordinances, commandments, everything is. So we see now, this is a big promise to make them high above everybody, but it comes with big responsibilities, right? So they're getting more than the blessing of Abraham now, but they have to do more. They have more restrictions, and they have things that they're going to have to do. So to whom much is given, much is required. So thank you again for joining me. Feel free to drop any comments, concerns, agreements, or disagreements in the comment section below. I hope that this study has blessed you and inspired you to search further into Yah's word. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you. May Yahuwah shine his face upon you and be gracious to you. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace.